In aviation, safety is not just a priority, it's the foundation upon which the entire industry is built. Every flight, every takeoff, and every landing depends on a complex web of trust, technology, and rigorous oversight. When that trust is shaken, the consequences can be far-reaching, affecting not just airlines and manufacturers, but also the millions of passengers who rely on air travel every day. An FAA warning is a serious matter, signaling potential danger that demands immediate attention. The Federal Aviation Administration is the watchdog of the skies, and when it raises a red flag, the entire aviation world takes notice. These warnings are not issued lightly. They are the result of careful investigation, data analysis, and a commitment to protecting lives. Recently, the FAA flagged a critical flaw in the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, one of the most advanced commercial aircraft in service today. This flaw specifically affects the communication systems between pilots and ground control, a vital link for safe and efficient flight operations. Without reliable communication, pilots may not receive crucial updates or instructions, increasing the risk of misunderstandings or even accidents. The issue is not just technical, it's a matter of trust. Passengers board planes with the expectation that every system has been thoroughly tested and approved. When a flaw like this emerges, it raises questions about the reliability of the aircraft and the processes that allowed such a vulnerability to go undetected for so long. This flaw doesn't just challenge the Dreamliner's reputation, it also puts a spotlight on the broader safety culture within Boeing and the regulatory environment that oversees it. How could such a critical issue slip through the cracks? Are there deeper problems in the way aircraft are designed, tested, and certified? Boeing's safety culture is under intense scrutiny, especially in the wake of past incidents involving other aircraft models. The company has faced criticism for its handling of previous safety concerns, and now, with the Dreamliner under the microscope, the pressure is mounting for transparency and accountability. The Dreamliner, once celebrated as a technological marvel that would redefine air travel, now faces a growing list of technical and safety issues. Each new problem chips away at the confidence of airlines, regulators, and the flying public. The question is no longer just about one aircraft, it's about the future of aviation safety as a whole. Despite the seriousness of these warnings, public awareness remains surprisingly low. Many travelers are unaware of the potential risks, and without widespread attention, there may not be enough pressure on manufacturers and regulators to act swiftly and decisively. The flying public deserves more than quiet regulatory filings and technical bulletins. They deserve open communication, transparency, and above all, a steadfast commitment to safety from everyone involved in the aviation industry. Passengers place their trust in airlines and manufacturers every time they step onto a plane, and that trust must be honored. The aviation industry must address these issues decisively, working together to restore confidence and ensure that safety remains the top priority. Only through collective action and unwavering vigilance can we protect the future of flight for everyone. The Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, recently brought to light a critical flaw in the Boeing 787 Dreamliner's VHF radio system, a system that serves as the backbone of communication between pilots and air traffic controllers. In modern aviation, clear and reliable communication is not just a convenience, it's a fundamental pillar of safety, ensuring that every instruction, clearance, and warning is received and understood without error. The VHF radio is the primary tool for this, especially during busy phases of flight like takeoff, landing, and while navigating crowded airspace. However, the FAA discovered that the 787's radio can unexpectedly switch frequencies on its own, without any input from the pilots. This means that, in the middle of a critical conversation, the radio could suddenly tune to a different channel, causing pilots to miss vital instructions from air traffic control. Imagine the confusion and potential danger if a pilot is expecting a landing clearance or a warning about nearby traffic, only to realize too late that they never heard it. This isn't just a theoretical risk. In the high-stakes environment of commercial aviation, even a brief lapse in communication can have catastrophic consequences. Missed instructions could result in aircraft straying off course, entering restricted airspace, or, in the worst-case scenario, coming dangerously close to other planes, raising the specter of mid-air collisions or near misses that could endanger hundreds of lives. Boeing responded to the initial reports by issuing a software patch, hoping to quickly resolve the issue. Unfortunately, this fix did not fully address the underlying problem. The patch's failure not only left the flaw unresolved, but also shook the confidence of pilots, airlines, and regulators in Boeing's ability to deliver effective solutions to complex technical challenges. In response, the FAA has now issued a new airworthiness directive, mandating that airlines operating the 787 must implement more rigorous software upgrades and conduct thorough checks of the radio system. These measures are designed to ensure that the radios function reliably under all conditions, and that any potential for unexpected frequency changes is eliminated. Until a permanent fix is in place, the responsibility falls heavily on pilots. They must remain extra vigilant, double-checking their radio settings, and maintaining heightened awareness during every phase of flight. This added layer of caution increases their workload and stress, especially during already demanding situations, but it's necessary to safeguard passengers and crew. The existence of this flaw, and the initial failure to resolve it, points to a deeper concern about Boeing's current approach to addressing technical failures. It raises questions about the company's internal processes, quality control, and commitment to transparency when safety is at stake. For now, flight crews are on the front lines, managing the risk through careful procedures and constant communication. They must be prepared to respond quickly if the radio malfunctions, relying on backup systems and established protocols to maintain safety. The broader aviation industry is watching closely, recognizing that this issue is not just about one aircraft or one company. It's a reminder that safety in aviation depends on constant vigilance, robust engineering, and a willingness to address problems openly and decisively. Only a permanent, thoroughly tested solution will restore full confidence in the 787's systems. In aviation, safety can never be taken for granted. It demands more than temporary fixes. It requires a culture of accountability, rigorous oversight, and an unwavering commitment to protecting every life on board. The FAA's warning on the 787's radio flaw is part of a troubling pattern. Recent incidents like the Air India crash spotlight the Dreamliner's safety record. Technical issues forced turnbacks and raised concerns about reliability. These events suggest systemic issues with the aircraft. The VHF flaw is one piece of a larger puzzle. Are these incidents connected? What is being done to prevent future tragedies? The industry must act swiftly to restore confidence. The 787's persistent issues may stem from a deeply flawed corporate culture at Boeing, one that has been allowed to develop over time. Whistleblowers have bravely exposed ongoing safety lapses at Boeing's Charleston plant, raising serious concerns. John Barnett warned of dangerous debris left near critical wiring, risking catastrophic failure in flight. Sam Selapour revealed improper fuselage assembly practices that could compromise the aircraft's integrity. Cynthia Kitchens documented severe recurring defects in delivered aircraft, highlighting ongoing quality issues. These troubling accounts highlight a culture that consistently prioritizes speed and production over safety and quality. Boeing must urgently address these systemic issues to ensure the safety of passengers and restore trust. The Boeing 787, once a symbol of innovation, faces ongoing safety issues. In 2013, the global fleet was grounded due to battery fires. Fuselage gaps halted deliveries, raising concerns about structural integrity. Foreign object debris has been linked to past incidents. These recurring problems erode trust in the Dreamliner. Boeing must address these issues comprehensively. The aviation industry cannot afford to overlook these safety concerns. A commitment to quality and safety is essential. The FAA and airlines are currently operating in a reactive posture, responding to the ongoing and complex issues surrounding the Boeing 787. Instead of being able to focus on long-term improvements, they are forced to address immediate risks as they arise. This has created a challenging environment where every new development demands urgent attention, stretching resources, and increasing pressure on all involved. The situation is further complicated by the need to maintain public trust and ensure passenger safety at all times. Boeing's initial software update, intended to fix the critical radio flaw, ultimately failed to resolve the underlying problem. This setback forced both the manufacturer and regulators to take additional, more drastic measures. Engineers and technicians are now working around the clock, investigating the root causes and developing new solutions. The failure of the software patch has highlighted the complexity of modern aircraft systems and the difficulty of implementing quick fixes in such a high-stakes industry. In response, the FAA has issued a new directive that mandates robust upgrades and comprehensive checks for all affected aircraft. Airlines must now comply with stricter inspection protocols, ensuring that every system is thoroughly evaluated and any vulnerabilities are addressed. This directive is not just a temporary measure. It represents a significant shift in regulatory oversight, emphasizing the need for proactive risk management and continuous improvement in safety standards. For pilots, these ongoing technical issues mean that they must remain more vigilant than ever. Their roles have become even more demanding, as they are required to monitor additional systems and follow enhanced procedures before every flight. This heightened level of alertness adds to the stress and responsibility they already carry, making their jobs more challenging and critical to the safe operation of each flight. Airlines, meanwhile, are facing significant financial and operational challenges as a result of these ongoing issues. Grounded aircraft mean lost revenue, disrupted schedules, and frustrated passengers. Operations teams must constantly adapt, reassigning planes and crews to minimize delays and cancellations. The uncertainty surrounding the 787's reliability has forced airlines to rethink their strategies and invest in contingency planning. In many cases, airlines and maintenance crews have resorted to temporary solutions just to keep planes in service. These quick fixes, while necessary in the short term, reveal an industry that is struggling to find lasting, permanent resolutions to complex technical problems. The reliance on stopgap measures underscores the urgent need for more comprehensive and sustainable solutions. Ultimately, the aviation industry must prioritize safety above all else, resisting the temptation to rely on short-term fixes. Regulators, manufacturers, and airlines must work together to ensure that every decision is guided by a commitment to long-term safety and reliability, rather than expediency. Only through a comprehensive, collaborative approach can the industry restore public confidence and ensure the continued safety of air travel for everyone. The path forward will require transparency, innovation, and a shared dedication to overcoming these unprecedented challenges. Temporary fixes create a false sense of security. The 787's recurring issues highlight a focus on symptoms, not root causes. Relying on pilots to manage faulty systems is unsustainable. Human error is inevitable. Systems should minimize this risk. Trust in aviation is eroded by failed fixes and resurfacing problems. A true solution requires a commitment to engineering excellence. The industry must address these issues at their core. Safety cannot be compromised. The 787's issues highlight a growing need for transparency and accountability. Public scrutiny drives meaningful change. Silence only allows complacency to persist. Transparency is absolutely essential for passenger safety. The public must be informed to demand even higher standards. Boeing must face real consequences for quality control failures. Independent oversight and whistleblower protection are absolutely crucial. The aviation industry must prioritize both safety and transparency. The FAA's warning must be a call to action. Safety demands no compromises ever.